Mm.
You're Stanford and Harvard trained anesthesiologist, and I'm going to share with you what happens when patients are lonely and they go under anesthesia, like in this real life operating room. As you may have heard recently, the U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy just announced a loneliness epidemic. And that has great consequences all over medicine, even when you're under anesthesia having surgery, because loneliness has very real effects on your body. Physical signs and symptoms come up when patients are suffering from unmitigated or untreated loneliness. And that shows up when you're connected to the ventilator behind me and when you have anesthetics on board. And even in those moments when you're breathing through that mask, getting the oxygen and other anesthesia gases. So let's talk about what happens to patients who are lonely. And it wouldn't wouldn't it be right to start without a real life story? I had a 75-year-old patient not too long ago coming in for a knee replacement. And when he sat down on the table, I gave him the oxygen mask. And before I gave it to him, I said, "What are you looking forward to doing with your new knee?" Because I want patients to wake up, or rather fall asleep, with that sense of positivity, to set a seed in their mind for what they're going to feel like when they wake up in hopefully a positive way, help reminding them the purpose, the meaning of why we're having surgery in the first place before that scary mask goes on. What did the patient tell me? What do you guys think the patient told me? What do you think the patient told me? And by the way, Alexis, Heidi, Linda, Chris, great to see everyone on here. So many others. But I want to know, oh, hey, Gentle Spirit, thank you for being a new subscriber. Your support helps me do this more often. So I'll give you a shout out to whoever gets it right. What did this patient tell me? When their head was on the pillow, they're getting ready for a whole new knee replacement. Sherry got it right. Sherry says he wasn't looking forward to anything. So this patient, unbeknownst to me, had a serious disconnection with their family and their social circle and was suffering from a serious social and emotional type of loneliness. There are three types of loneliness we typically describe, and he was suffering two of those three. When he told me, in this moment here, I don't even know why I want a new knee anymore. This was really concerning for me, as you can imagine, and it impacted their anesthesia. So what happens when you have this level of loneliness? A couple of things happen. There are often contributing factors that show up on the monitors in your heart. This patient, not surprisingly, was also suffering from depression. The people that he used to do his physical activities with, like jogging, running, weren't around anymore. That was why he originally wanted the knee replacement. And like Darlene says, it is sad, and there is an element of hopelessness in here. This is not the time to be having surgery, because when you fall asleep, what signs are manifested in your body? When you fall asleep with that level of hopelessness or loneliness, it increases your risk of heart disease. It increases your risk of stroke. It increases your risk of Alzheimer's type dementia, which when you're waking up from anesthesia, after all these gases have wreaked havoc on your brain, the sevoflurane, the laughing gas, your N2O, the liquid anesthetics like propofol or ketamine or whatever they might be, midazolam, opioids like fentanyl, the pain of the surgery, these can all unmask what we call emergence delirium, causing all those stories I've shared with you of people that wake up kicking, screaming, doing all these wacky things, because the brain, when it has been lonely for so long, is so prone to depression, to generalized anxiety or state anxiety. These are real conditions, and they really show up on the table, and they are preventable. It's not a fatalistic diagnosis. It's not a terminal diagnosis. It's one of the remarkable realities of the human body.